Ladies and gentlemen, we've got an incredibly special guest joining us in the Combat Zone today. It is the Bellator Light Heavyweight Champion, Corey Anderson, longtime combat sports staple, finally making the long-awaited PFL debut. Corey, how do you feel, sir?
I feel good. I feel great. I'm ready to go. I'm excited. I'm just ready to get to
Bef-
South Africa and get to business.
Before we get into this matchup with Dennis Goltsov, I got to ask, it's finally here, the PFL debut. How does that feel getting back in action?
I mean, it ain't here yet. It's finally on its way, but it
Mm.
feels good. Like I tell all my friends, teammates, and everything, a year off, that's the longest I've ever been without doing any kind of competition ever. Like from high school wrestling, football, baseball, basketball, jiu-jitsu is the longest I've ever been out. But it's kind of good and bad. Not bad so much, just frustrating. But the good, I think it outweighed it all. So I'm excited to
Yeah.
get back in there.
Outside of consistently training and staying ready, what did you sort of do with the time over the last year? Was there any unique hobbies that Corey Anderson picked up?
I mean, nothing new. One thing about me, I always had a hunting channel, a hunting outdoors
Mm.
channel since I was like in the UFC. So one thing, like even my wife said with sponsors and everything, was just focus. We ain't got the energy to put in the fight camp. Just go ahead and focus on that. Build that brand up and get that going and work on your editing. Like I do all my video edits and filming. I do it all myself. So I just spent a lot of time like buying new gadgets and gear, gimbals, drones, playing, editing, filming, and I hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube in a time off, which is big. It jumped up like 4 or 5,000 in that time off. And other than that, just went back to the MMA gym. I didn't live in the gym like I usually do, but when I was in there, I was working on certain things I was doing bad. I went back
Mm.
and studied all my fights, things I did wrong, things I was getting caught in and getting hit on, and worked on fixing those mistakes so it don't happen again when we get the call.
So, in some ways, you could say that this last year has been really transformative and reflective for your MMA style and how you operate inside the gym.
Yeah, it was transformative for a life period. Along, like the biggest thing I think I took away with it was the time I got to spend with my kids. I got a
Mm.
4-year-old and a 6-year-old, and being fighting in fight camp all the time. We live in Indiana. We do our camps in Jersey. I go to Vegas. I go to New York. I go to Philly. I'm always on the go. So the kids always just catch a glimpse of that. They see daddy in the morning, hang out for a little bit. Then I come back and we hang out a little bit before bed. And I think that was the biggest takeaway for me that I'm thankful of. It's kind of like a pandemic, like a curse with the pandemic. It made you slow down. And I had no choice but to be at home with my kids. And like my daughter is always, my son's always daddy, daddy, daddy. My daughter's always been, she wanted mommy. And she gets hurt, she run to mommy. And something happens, she run to mommy. Well, over that time being around, she actually started coming to daddy and seeing daddy around, asking daddy for stuff. So that was cool to see that transition. So like I said, all in all, I say it was frustrating, but at the same time, God has a plan for everything. I think that was just part of it.
Amen. Let's dig into this matchup. The 2024 PFL heavyweight champion, Dennis Goltsov. What do you make of him as a fighter? He's got so much PFL experience, obviously won last year. But how was the Corey Anderson breakdown of Goltsov?
I mean, he's a big Russian. I would say strong, but you don't know until you tie up with him. But he looks strong, big, long. He has a good jab. He keeps his jab out there. He tries to stay at range. He doesn't want to get in close. He's not big on the wrestling, but he can do the sambo, foot sweeps, and whatnot. And if you get on top, he's trying to land as much damage as he can to wear you out, drag you down. Um, I mean, it's not like it's a big, crazy, hard puzzle when you
Mhm.
watch him, like, oh, he got so many tools. Yes, he's got multiple tools, but he does pretty similar style every fight. He doesn't really ever throw anything like, oh man, I never saw that coming. Who would have thought that was
Yeah.
gonna happen? It's kind of like, okay, he just throw the jab in a different way, or throws the leg kick, or catches a knee, and he smells blood sometimes when they get on the ground. His implement to land the ground and pound, but it's never really anything like, oh man, that's a hard puzzle to figure out. It's just being
Yeah.
aware of what he's gonna do.
It's kind of the greatest hits that he runs through all the time in his fights.
Yeah, but the thing
um,
is, the one thing my brother always told me growing up is if you're so good at something, you don't need many things. You
yeah.
master one thing and you're good. And that's kind of what he is. He got the certain things he's good at, and he doesn't do much else, but he makes it work. So my job is to figure out how to work against that, how to make that work well for my plan, and then implement it into what I'm gonna do.
With your lengthy combat sports career, is there a past opponent that you would say he compares to most similarly to, or is there someone that you faced before that you think, okay, I've seen this type of approach and style in the past?
I mean, the movement and the way he throws his jab is similar to what Nemkov does, but Nemkov is
Hmm.
shorter. And then with the height and reach and everything would be Johnny Walker. But I think Johnny
Yeah.
Walker's reach is still a lot longer than him. They about the same height, and I've trained with Johnny. I think I trained with Johnny a couple of times early in this camp. I trained with Johnny two camps ago and the last camp in Vegas, and I've got that reaching up to him. And so that's it. The biggest thing is just his reach, not reach, his height, because my
Yeah.
arms are actually longer than his if you look at the reach, but his height and having to punch up and making you susceptible for him punching down, which is what he's going to do, and throw that jab a lot. His movement, time his movement, like I said, that's the Nemkov, that Russian style. They stay to the outside, they throw that long jab and put all that weight on the front foot and take all that weight from the back foot. So you just got to be able to adapt to it.
Is this the opponent that you wanted for the PFL debut? Were there other names on the table for you?
I mean, my original name I was supposed to get was Joe Romero. That was last year. I was supposed to
Yeah.
fight on that Francis card, but so how that went. Then Yo ended up leaving. So after that point, I really didn't care who I fought. You know what I mean? The contract is set, and like I told my manager, at this point, when you making this kind of money, I ain't ducking, I ain't dodging. I never ducked and never dodged, but it's like I'm not gonna
Hmm.
pick whoever. I don't have any names. Just put a name. I got to eat. Time to eat. Give me a name. I don't care who it is. Just put a name. They hit me up with this one. It was like Dennis Goldsoft. Like, all right, like it's heavyweight. Like, yeah, I know. Like, you sure? Like, I said, give me a name. Did I not? Let's go.
Yeah. In this last year, we've seen guys like Aaron Pico, Patricio Pitbull depart and go into the UFC. Was there any internal conversation about going back to the UFC, or was that always, hey, we're with the PFL, we're going to wait it out?
I mean, that's it right now. You just got to figure it out. You're in contract. So there's no point even trying to muddy the water. You start doing that talking, and they hear you talking, and all of a sudden they make you sit even longer. Or is anything happen? They can try to sue you because you in breach of
Yeah.
contract because you're in contract. It's like it's not even worth even thinking about that right now. Of course, when you see all these guys, Pico, Pitbull, Peggy makes all these guys going, everybody hits you. Oh, you plan on going? I just lame answer. I don't know. I'm under
Yeah.
contract right now. We focus on this. We finish these fights I got on this contract with this contract in, then we can talk about that. And other than that, it's no point in talking right now because I'm like I said, we've been out for a year. So why muddy the water anymore, make it any more messier to be out even longer? So I'm just focused
Yeah.
on the task at hand. That right now is finishing my job under the PFL banner. And once that come out, we talk with Don, raise that for Mike Cogan. If we stay there, we stay there. If not, we don't. So we'll figure out when we get to that bridge.
Yeah, the response to any of that is, hey, Corey's hunting. He's not having these
Yeah,
conversations. He's out doing
that's it.
other
That
things,
is it.
man. Now, I recognize that this is your first time going to South Africa. So, outside of this clash with Dennis Goltsov, what are you most looking forward to?
Nothing. Getting out
Yeah,
there and fighting.
get to
I don't.
fight, finish business,
Once
baby.
I'm there, it's like I said, I'm big into hunting, and I got ton of hunting sponsors, friends in the hunting industry. And when everybody starts going to Cape Town, everybody like, "Oh, are you taking your bow? Are you taking your rifle?" Like, what? Like, "Oh, you going hunting, ain't you?" Like, no. Like, bro,
No.
hunting out there in Africa is great. That's like some of the best hunting ever. Like, yeah, I'm worried about one thing, and that's hunting on July 19th. All the
Yeah.
other stuff is for the birds. I actually had the guy I'm taking out there to train with me because we leaving Sunday. We're gonna go out there early to get acclimated. The guy that's going out there to train with me, he messaged me like pictures of animals out there we can hunt. I say the same thing, like, bro, everybody keep talking to me about hunting. I'm only hunting one thing. That's July 19th. That's Dennis Gulf. So other than that, I'm focused on that. It's hard to, if I went out there with my bow and stuff, I get carried away in the outdoors. Well, I'll stop training. Like I would be out there just hunting every single day and don't even think about training. That's just because hunting is a passion. I
Mhm.
love being out there. So for me to keep that separate, I just gotta separate it completely. Bring only my training gear, leave my hunting stuff here, and then maybe in the future I'll come back and do it. But right now, we focus on one thing, and that's the task at hand. That's getting that W.
I was gonna say business on the 19th, and then hey, maybe later in 2025 or next year you can come back to Cape Town and get that hunt again.
Yeah, I go out there and meet a hunting guy like, yo, I like to come out here and shoot one of those. He's like, oh, come back on out. Like, all right, I hit you up in a few months. But right now, we're just looking. If anything, I'm gonna drive past and just say, oh, that's a nice looking animal, and keep on moving.
Now, I mentioned at the top of this interview that you're currently, right, the Bellator Light Heavyweight champion, but I feel like there is some sort of confusion or lack of clarity from the fan base. Is that still a title that's attached to your waist, or with this crossover, is that sort of a dormant championship? I'm sort of not sure what the lingo is at the moment with Bellator titles.
Just like everybody else. I mean, we don't
Yeah.
know. We saw what's his name? Usman. He fought what's his name?
Paul Hughes, I believe, and defended.
Hughes. Yeah, you saw they gave him, and that was underneath the straight PFL title, and they gave him the Bellator belt. So that was kind of like what we assumed is going to happen. But other than that, nobody knows. We've been told you're still the champ, and we're supposed to defend against whoever earns it from the PFL tournament.
Mhm.
It's kind of like I said, that's that muddy waters that's just not quite clear yet. So
Yeah. Are you bringing the title? Are you bringing the belt to Cape Town?
nope. Like I said, once Bellator was there, I just left it up in my shadow box back in Indiana. I'm like, for what? If it's done and we got to fight for a new belt, I'm not bringing that with. And I'm fighting a heavyweight for this one, so there's no point of bringing a 205 belt. It says light heavyweight on it, so that's pointless. So it's just up hanging up in the rafters right now.
Fair enough. I know you just had some South African lobster tail at Riv's Tom's River Hub. What other ways have you been acclimating yourself ahead of this South African trip outside of getting there on Sunday?
No, nothing much. I mean, I've heard it's like we had a kid actually here from Africa. He was at the gym for a couple months ago training, and I told him about fighting the capes. Like, oh, it's so beautiful there. And I was like, oh, the air different, everything. The air is just more fresher, man. Really, it's just you can smell and taste the air is a lot more pure than here. But other than that, there wasn't much transition. You got the time change, and then you got the acclimation from the flight, 15-hour flight. But other than that, no. So I just been training. Um, I usually do my sessions one in the morning, one at night, and I feel like the fight is going to be around that. Here, it'll be about 12, 1 o'clock time, if I'm assuming correctly. I haven't heard much.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to get in the gym around then for my midday, like a little light workout, so at least acclimated to doing something at that time of day. But other than that, I don't think it's much else to acclimate to other than the time and the travel. And that's why I'm getting out there early so my body can be completely ready with no excuses.
Fair. And given obviously the fight coming up, is there any July 4th plans that you and the family have today, or are you saving the celebration till after Cape Town?
No, so we're gonna not today. Tomorrow we're doing some of my fight family and friends. We go to their house to do fireworks and whatnot. Today I actually talked to my son before I got on here. I'm gonna take him fishing. He loves
Mm,
fishing, so go out and take him fishing one last time. But when we get back from Cape Town, every year 4th of July back in Indiana, we got like the biggest property in the neighborhood, and we live out in the country. Like so, I buy like from $500 to $800 worth of like straight boom boom fireworks, and we do like a huge barbecue. We do volleyball, we do cornhole, water balloon fights. We cook, we eat, we have a blast. The kids play in the bounce house, and then when it get dark, we do fireworks. So it starts at like 2, and we usually don't finish till like midnight. So I postpone that. That will be the week. No, the week. 2 weeks after I get back from Cape Town, we're gonna go back and do that. So that'll be our festivities, and hopefully we're doing a victory party as well. So
I love it. Yeah, the celebratory fireworks show, 100%. Last one from me, Corey. Big opportunity here, July 19th, to remind the masses just who you are. What can the fans expect from Corey Anderson at PFL Africa?
just expect to see a bigger version, bigger, stronger, and faster version of the Corey Anderson I'm used to seeing. You know, we had a year off just to work my explosion and strength. And then going back to the way that I actually started MMA, a lot of people don't realize I debuted at heavyweight, and I was a heavyweight until I went to the Ultimate Fighter. I wrestled from freshman year in high school to my senior year in college at heavyweight. So now getting back and putting size on and eating and actually being happy in training and waking up like feeling stronger instead of drained, it's
Mm.
definitely it's put a new fire and a new an outlook on this camp, and it's got me really fired up, ready to go out there and show them what I can really do when you ain't cutting weight. You don't your injuries. I haven't had many injuries, no bumps and bruises because I'm able to eat and fill up and fuel up the way I should have been doing this whole time fighting. So I'm ready to go out there and just show all that I've been putting into this camp and
I
get
love
this
it.
victory.
Bigger, stronger, more explosive, and healthy to top it all off. I can't wait for it. Corey, thank you so much for the time. Best of luck in this lead up to July 19th. And I can't wait to hear about those fireworks 2 weeks after.
All right, Ben. Thanks for having me.